how this man saved Rome with Geese. Yes, you heard that right. Rome's salvation came not from a hero's sword, not from a legion's charge, but from the most unlikely of places possible. And make no mistake, if the city died that night, history as we know it dies with it. There would be no Roman Republic to inspire future nations, no Roman law to shape our own. The language you are hearing now might not even exist. This single night would decide the fate of Western civilization. The year is 390 BC, and this is the story of how Marcus Manlius saved the city of Rome with the help of Geese, and was later killed for it by his own people. Our story begins not in Rome, but with a human tide of Gallic warriors pouring into Italy, led by the formidable chieftain Brennus. At the river Allia, they met the Roman legions. It wasn't a battle, it was a liquidation. The disciplined Roman lines shattered against the Gauls' ferocious charge. The river ran red, choked with the wreckage of a broken army. Shattered shields and broken spears bobbed in the current, their owners gone. The survivors fled. Some ran for their lives, while others barricaded themselves on Rome's last defensible point, the sacred Capitoline Hill. Below them, Brennus and his warriors sacked the city, feasting among the smouldering ruins. For months, the defenders on the hill grew weaker, their supplies gone, their hope dwindling to a flicker. Marcus Manlius, a decorated war hero, was now reduced to watching his city die, one starving man at a time. The Gauls grew impatient. A scout, slinking through the shadows at the base of the citadel, found what he was looking for: a secret fissure in the rock, a hidden path to the top. That night, a hand-picked team began their climb. They moved like spectres in the darkness, their bare feet finding holes in the cold stone. They slipped past the sleeping sentries. They crept by the guard dogs, who, betraying their nature, remained silent. Each warrior hauled the next one up, their grasp on the rock as tenuous as Rome's grasp on survival. They were almost there. The defenders were seconds from slaughter. But the Gauls had climbed into a sacred precinct, the temple of Juno, Juno the Warner. Her sacred animals were not fearsome dogs, but geese. And these geese, carefully fed and protected even during the famine, were wide awake. A wave of panicked honking tore through the night. The sound jolted Marcus Manlius from his exhausted sleep. He didn't think, he reacted. Snatching his shield and sword, he sprinted to the cliff's edge just as the first warrior's face appeared over the ledge. Manlius slammed the man with the full weight of his shield. The Gaul screamed, a brief, sharp cry, as he was thrown backward into the abyss, taking his comrades with him in a cascade of falling bodies. The attack was broken. Against all odds, Rome had survived. The Gauls, their will broken, agreed to leave for a ransom in gold. But Manlius was now more than a soldier. He was a living legend. The people called him Capitolinus, savior of the capital. And that is what made him so dangerous. In the broken city, he saw Roman citizens being dragged away in chains, enslaved by crushing debt. He would point to a veteran soldier, his body scarred from Rome's wars, being seized by a creditor, and pay the man's debt himself, on the spot, from his own pocket. Crowds followed him. They pressed coins into his hand, not as payment, but in reverence. He was becoming the conscience of Rome, and a hero to the poor. But as the people hailed him as savior, the wealthy senators in their halls saw a rival. They saw a man whose popularity could one day make him a king, the one title that was poison in the Roman Republic. They put him on trial for treason. At the first hearing, the crowd stood in the shadow of the Capitoline Hill. And as they gazed upon the cliff he had defended, they refused to condemn him. So the Senate moved the trial. They took him to a place where the hill could not be seen, where the memory of his heroism was out of sight and out of mind. There, stripped of his context and his glory, he was convicted. His punishment was the ultimate Roman irony. He was dragged back to the Capitoline Hill, no longer as its saviour, but as its sacrifice. Marcus Manlius Capitolinus was hurled to his death from the very cliffs he had once defended. His story became a chilling lesson, etched into the foundation of Rome, that the distance between a hero's pedestal and a traitor's cliff is dangerously short. It leaves us with a question that echoes through history. Where is the line between a champion of the people and a threat to the state?